Welcome to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for younger gamers by gamers. I'm Hex.
And I'm Bajo. Hex, tell me that this is not happening.
It most definitely is. Just Dance 2.
Brilliant.
Spare me, that's what nightmares are made of, Hex. Oh. Coming up this week, Sonic 4. Sonic is returning to his 2D roots, but is it for the best?
Darren, do you have Pirate in your system settings?
Oh, aye, Captain.
Oh, great, because we're going to be looking at another classic rebooted for modern day times with Sid Meier's Pirates.
Arr, shiver me timbers, pieces of 8. I love to make noobs walk the plank. Arr.
Just Dance 2 is the latest dancing game from the croissant munchers at Ubisoft, and it's yet another stab at the music action genre. But we're actually quite surprised with this one. It's a lot like SingStar, but less energizing.
Yeah.
It's more visceral, because you don't just work your voice box, you work your entire body.
And the more you move, the more you score too. I'm used to just sitting in one spot, anchored, staring intently at a screen. In Just Dance 2, you're swooshing, twisting, twirling and twisting.
The basic game is simplicity itself. There's a neon on-screen avatar that serves as your dance instructor. The idea is to act like you're looking in a mirror, grasping the Wii remote in your right hand. You match his or her movements with your own as closely as you can.
Each song has a rating from 1 to 3 in both difficulty and intensity, and the latter is measured in drops of sweat, and you will sweat. Hex, I don't think I've played a game that has involved this much activity before.
Yeah, while it's presented as a party game, it could serve just as well as an exercise coach. We strongly recommend you clear a good space around your TV before playing this game, and you'll want to use your Wiimote wrist straps.
There's a warm-up routine too, and that's also essential. Pulling a muscle sucks. Sacre bleu!
If you want to get serious about the fitness side of things, that's where the Just Sweat mode comes in. You can choose between a mild, tough, or intense workout, and there's even an on-screen sweat gauge to measure your...
Suffering.
No, your progress badge.
I did like that you can choose shorter versions of the songs by pushing the minus button.
Oh, but that's why you're not eligible for a high score. Besides, the song list needs to be savoured to the full. There are modern, robot-inspired hits like Tick-Tock and Satisfaction, as well as surprisingly comprehensive selection from the entire history of popular music. There's Blondie, Elvis, Cher, and even the Jackson 5. Don't be surprised if your mumbots and dadbots want to have a go too.
What was your mumbot's favourite track, Darren?
Walk Like an Egyptian by the Bangles. She helped to build the pyramids, you know.
Walk like an Egyptian.
There aren't many game modes, but they cover the basics. You can do duets or have dance-off contests with up to 2 teams of 4, or you can set it to just continuous shuffle play and literally dance till you drop. There are a few surprises in there too, like a song from Bollywood, and if you like to dance, then there's a lot to get stuck into.
I think that's the key point, Hex. It's if you like to dance, and I'm not really a dancer, you know. I get my exercise fix elsewhere, and games are where I like to relax, so I don't really feel relaxed here jumping about the place. I can see the strengths of the game, but my personal experience was a 5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Oh, come on, Badge. I mean, I know that all the neon raver gear makes it look a bit girly, but guys like to dance too, and there's nothing better than a bit of healthy competition. The scoring is forgiving, and they've put a lot of thought into the track mix too. It's not Super Mario Galaxy 3, but then it's not trying to be. I'm giving it 7 out of 10 rubber chickens.
All the cops in the donut shop say, way-oh, 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 way-oh.
Walk like an Egyptian.
I want a donut. So many memories. Time once again, Hex, to tackle some of those perplexing problems troubling the Spawnlings. What do we got?
First up, here's a question from Fidget in sunny Bondi. Can you guys please tell me what is the difference between a quick save and a save? I noticed that on a game like Dragon Quest IX, you can quick save, so what's the difference? Regards, Fidget. Well, both a save and a quick save save your game, so in that sense they're the same. The difference is convenience. With a normal save you have to go into a menu, then select save, then select which slot you want to save in, and then you're usually prompted one last time, are you really sure? Ah, yes, I'm sure.
And in Dragon Quest IX it's even more complicated because you have to travel in the game to the nearest town and then find the church and talk to the priest. You really have to plan your saves.
With Quick Save, there's a slot set aside that you can save to really quickly. No mess, no fuss. For example, if you're playing on a bus and you see your stop coming up and you need to shut down quickly, Quick Save lets you get that out of the way in seconds.
Next up, Aunt Brianna in Barnaby, which is in Queensland. Is a Club Penguin Wii game real? Yes, yes it is. See, I've got one right here.
Though we haven't reviewed that one yet, so we're not sure if it's any good. Next, we've got a question from JJ in Adelaide.
Still not playing Tetris with you though because you'll pwn me. And I don't like being beaten
It's funny because it's true.
at Tetris.
What is the best game that my brother and I could get that has multiplayer, is fun, and isn't so frustrating that you throw your controller away? Also, could it be challenging but not so hard that it will take you 35 hours to finish? Oh, and could it be on the Wii? P.S. You guys are awesome.
Thanks for the letter, JJ. For multiplayer gaming on the Wii, the best choice by far is Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Stacks of characters, stacks of stages, and up to 4 players, so you can have a couple of mates over. New Super Mario Bros. Is great too. You can work together or betray each other and get those hard-to-reach coins. Other games good for co-op include Super Mario Galaxy and Batman the Brave and the Bold. Time for just one more, and it's this from Ella Bella in Waterloo, which is in New South Wales.
You had one. What happened to yours?
Threw it out the window at Darren because he was making fun of me for not being able to play Tetris, and then he just took it and he took it apart and he rebuilt himself with it, and now my computer's inside Darren.
That was an incredibly long answer to that question. I wasn't expecting you to go on for so long.
It's been a rough week. Hi, Good Game SP. I am trying to raise my Eevee's happiness in Pokemon Soul Silver so I can complete my goal of getting a set of Evolutions. Do you know the quickest way to raise happiness of a Pokemon? Please help me achieve my goal of collecting all 7 evolutions. P.S. Bajo, Hex, and Darren rule. I watch you guys every weekend.
Thanks, Ella. So glad you like to watch the show. And yes, Umbreon and Espeon are great evolutions, especially since they're some of the stronger dark and psychic types you can get early on in the game.
Increasing happiness can be done a few ways. You can buy vitamins like protein and carbos from the Goldenrod department store and feed them to your Pokemon until they bloat, but they are costly at 9,800 Pokédollars a piece.
Keeping him or her as first in your party so that they follow you round will help, as does making them hold a Soothe Bell and battling with your Eevee.
Just don't let your Pokemon die.
Indeed, that'll decrease its happiness.
You can check your Pokemon's happiness in the house above the bike shop in Goldenrod City. Talk to the lady there with Eevee as your first Pokemon, and if she says it looks really happy, it must love you a lot, then it's ready to evolve. Level it up in the day and you'll get Espeon, and level it up in the night and you'll get Umbreon.
Well, sadly, that's all the time we have for this week. So
really?
I guess that's that. Oh, all right, just one more, but make it quick and don't touch my computer.
Right, how about this from Alpha Dingo in San Isidore? That sounds like a lovely place. Have you ever done a review on Plants vs. Zombies? P.S. Darren is a noob. Hey, Alpha Dingo, couldn't agree with you more. Darren is a total noob. And in answer to your question, well, yes, we have. Back in May 2009.
You can watch the review online if you type Good Game and Plants vs. Zombies into the search engine and it should find it. And that's true for all the games we've played in the past. Type in Good Game and the name of the game you're interested in, and if we've reviewed it, it'll be online. And really now it's time to close the inbox. Yeah, no, it's true. We can't just answer questions forever.
We can't, or we won't.
If you've missed the little blue hedgehog and think it's about time he made a comeback, well, you're in luck. Sonic 4 is here. We're just getting the first episode to whet our appetite initially, but it's quite simply more of the side-scrolling platforming Sonic that we love and remember.
Indeed. Recent games in the Sonic franchise have seen Sonic take on a more three-dimensional form, none of which has been particularly successful. Finally, Sonic is back in his 2D realm where he belongs.
Episode 1 throws you straight into the action with that familiar theme song and updated graphics for this generation. Sonic looks pretty slick.
There are 4 zones in Ep 1, Splash Hill, Casino Street, Lost Labyrinth and Mad Gear. There's also that special stage that fans will remember from the Mega Drive years. Once you've played through all of Splash Hill though, you'll actually unlock access to every stage in each zone, with the exception of the boss battles, of course.
I like that they haven't done anything too crazy with this one, Hex. You know, maybe it's because whenever they try anything different with Sonic, it just doesn't work as well.
Yeah, back in the day, I remember loving Sonic Spinball a lot, so in Sonic 4, Casino Street is definitely my favourite zone so far. I love all that whizzing about on playing cards, bouncing off pinball-style bumpers and flippers and cannons. It's all very manic still too. Sometimes I just feel so out of control with what's happening on the screen.
Hex, when I was a little kid, I really loved the original Sonic games on the Mega Drive. I melted my Mega Drive once by leaving it on pause for about 12 hours just so I could get all those Chaos Emeralds. But when I first played Sonic 4, something was off. Something felt felt quite wrong about this Sonic and how he moved. So I did some investigations, and there are two things that are wrong with this Sonic in my opinion. The first is when he moves, if you let go of the stick, he'll just drop straight down. He doesn't keep that momentum going, and that's different from the old Sonics. He used to just keep going and you kind of judge his momentum, and so that was really different for me. The second thing is he's a bit slower to get going, and I've done the math on this. I've taken some footage from old Sonics and I had a bit of a play and really had a good time playing through all those on Friday morning at 3 AM. And then I took some footage of the new Sonic and put them side by side. If you have a look, I discovered that Sonic actually takes 2.29 seconds to get up to full speed in Sonic 4, but in the older Sonic, he took 2.05 seconds. And that's a big difference in my opinion.
Oh, Bajo. Putting aside the flaws in your mathematics, and there were quite a few, you have to realise that these changes to the control scheme have been made for a reason. This new Sonic game is much more of a puzzling platformer, and these changes are there to facilitate that.
I have to agree with D.A.R.R.E.N. I really liked that he could stop so easily. It meant that you could avoid potential death traps like spikes or hidden enemies, and you just have so much more control over him in general.
I guess for me though, Sonic was all about that momentum, and changing and messing with my guy, I feel like he doesn't have that momentum anymore, and to me that was key with Sonic. I didn't mind his double jump though. I thought that was a nice addition.
I loved the double jump.
I like his little red shoes.
There's still a time limit on everything, which is stressful, as well as some pretty hectic puzzle elements, which are so frustrating, but in a good way, as well as those familiar boss battles with Dr. Robotnik, Eggman, or whatever his name is, so I don't think fans could be too disappointed with that.
It is, in fact, Dr. Eggman X.
Alright, but why does he have to change his name? Can't we just call him the villain formerly known as Robotnik?
No, Eggman.
I don't know how to feel about this Sonic Hex. I just couldn't get used to him. And I think I compare it to New Super Mario Bros. Wii, which was a pretty good game because they didn't mess with anything, they just layered on top of it. But I feel like they've messed with the core of Sonic and the way he moves, and I just couldn't get past that. So I'm giving it 5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
I think you're wrong, Bajo. I think they did a pretty good job with this reboot. I really liked the additions and I didn't mind the changes. If you've never played a Sonic game, I think you should give this a go. Maybe if you're stuck in the past like Bajo, then just give the demo a go first, but I'm giving it 7 out of 10 rubber chickens. Stop doing that.
But he's lame.
Sonic's cool, D.A.R.R.E.N.
No, he's lame.
It's cool.
Lame.
You're lame.
You're lame.
It took too long, I won! I won that battle, that voice battle, that dialogue battle I just had. I won. I kicked D.A.R.R.E.N's robotic square-shaped, whatever spot.
Look, I'm sorry, D.A.R.R.E.N., but it just won't fit.
D.A.R.R.E., try harder. D.A.R.R.E., D.A.R.R.E.
This coat wasn't made for cube-shaped bodies because I don't think there were any robot-shaped pirates.
Oh, actually, you'd be surprised if you check the history books.
Okay, guys. Look, first of all, why did no one tell me that we're dressing up like pirates? Pirates are my favorite thing. Secondly, I think we should get on with the review.
Sid Meier's Pirates is a reboot of one of the all-time classic games. Pirates came out in 1987 and since then has made an appearance in just about every port you can think of.
And the story is just the same. Players take on the role of a young boy who signs on to a naval crew after his family is kidnapped, and he then leads a mutiny which leaves him in charge of the vessel.
Once in charge of a boat, it's off to the Caribbean for a spot of plundering, pillaging, treasure hunting, sword fighting and other piratical pursuits. The main problem with Pirates is that it takes forever to get anywhere, and once you do get there, the action gets repetitive.
You're right about that. On the lowest difficulty setting, the wind constantly blows west, which is fine if you're going that way, but if you want to go the other way, the game just slows to a giant crawl.
When you do arrive at your destination, your options are limited depending on where you are. Enter an allied port and you can talk to the governor to get new quests and maybe get introduced to the governor's daughter, trade, repair or upgrade your ship, or go to a tavern to recruit some new sailors or talk to the local to hear some rumours about pirates or hidden treasure.
At sea, you can attack other ships and blow them out of the water with your cannons, or you can board them and add them to your own pirate fleet. If you board that ship, you have to fight the captain of that ship. The sword fighting is meant to be based around motion controls and timing, but Hex, I found I could just waggle my way through most fights without too much trouble.
Yeah, well, all of the mini games that required motion control were just a little bit too simplistic. There was one dancing game where you had to move the controller in one of 4 different positions when prompted. It just wasn't much fun at all.
Yeah, aside from the sailing, that's basically all there is, isn't it?
Yeah, there is a token effort at some multiplayer, but it's limited to some pretty silly co-op. The second player is relegated to trimming the sails in the open seas, playing a parrot during sword fights, or being part of the band in the dancing games. Lame.
I think Pirates has outlived its prime, Hex. 23 years ago, this was a great game, but even with this new coat of paint, I just didn't find it fun anymore, so I'm giving it 6 out of 10 rubber chickens.
If you've never played Pirates before, then you should, just for the sake of gaming history, but I think you're right. I wanted to like this Wii version more than I did. It's a classic game, but this version doesn't really add anything to the mix, so I'm gonna give it 6 as well.
Army hearties, I've got a joke for you.
Okay, go ahead.
How much does it cost for a pirate to get his ears pierced?
I don't know.
A buccaneer!
Darren, I think that's the best joke you've ever told. Which isn't saying much.
Well, sadly, that's all we've got time for, but next week we're going to bowl a few overs with International Cricket 2010.
Plus, we'll get our groove on with DJ Hero 2.
Are ye DJ skills up to scratch?
I can mix my fair share of fat beats, Darren. What about you? What do you like on the decks?
Oh, I'm a master of the poop decks.
He said poop.
All right, till next week, gamers, Hex out.
Bajo out.
D.A.R.R.E.N out.
Darren, give me the hat.
Talk to the hook.
Give me the hat. I want to try the hat.
Lazy.
You can try mine on. Doesn't smell bad, I don't think.
Though my sensors do detect girl germs.